And we're live.
Hey guys.
Hi everyone.
Hello. Hello.
As usual, just let us know in the comments if you can hear and see us okay. And of course, we've got Ian with us here today as well.
Yeah, welcome to my main man and Honest Designers show co-host Ian Barnard. Very talented.
I feel like I've seen you every day this week, Tom.
Sick of the sight.
I was going to say, you're sick of him now.
Yeah, we've been chatting a lot. Ian, I'm sure everyone knows you. Do you mind doing a super quick intro for the couple of people that might not?
Okay, so my name's Ian. I'm a lettering artist. I live in the UK, not too far away from Tom. And my job is custom lettering. I spend a lot of time on Instagram posting quotes and just lettering pieces, some more random than the others. And part of my business is making and selling Procreate brushes, because that has become a major part of my process now. So, and that's, what we're going to look at today is Procreate, and the Apple iPad is literally something I can spend days and days on. So,
I mean, Procreate is huge right now. I feel like half the designers I know got an iPad for Christmas. Very jealous. I didn't get anything to sort.
I can say if they didn't, they wanted one.
But yeah, so many people are now like illustrating and lettering on iPads, and I think it's really cool. And it's been so interesting to see the technology move forward so much, even in the last couple of years.
Definitely, it got they got an award for App of the Year as well.
Oh, cool!
I don't know if that's more than once they've got that, but I think they've made a program so easy to use, even though when you first pick it up it's probably quite daunting, but it's a very easy to use app. And I think for me, who is sometimes on the go, and I like to work from coffee shops, so having all my tools in one place and being able to take it anywhere I want and just pick it up and use it. And I know that one of my friends who's an illustrator who's got twin boys and a little girl, and they're really young, and so she's sitting on the sofa with them, and if they're just watching children's TV, she can quickly do a bit of her watercolor.
Rest an iPad on one of their heads. Or something.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, we got one in the office because obviously we're selling a lot of Procreate stuff now, so we wanted to be able to test it properly. And I got lost in it straight away. There was no real learning curve, like you said. I'm sure for the more advanced stuff, you might have to do a tutorial or spend a bit of time figuring it out. But in terms of just getting going, took about 5 seconds, and then I just got lost in it. I was like, no, I need to do some work now because it's distracting.
It's quite and actually one of the things I found is actually giving yourself a project rather than just trying to learn the whole program. Is saying, okay, today I want to make a picture using just maybe the watercolor brushes, or using just just doing a sketch using the 6B pencil, which seems to be everyone's favorite tool. So yes, it's a big program, but it doesn't. You can do very simple things in it as well. So it's really good.
Let's first of all, thank you everyone for jumping in the comments. We're obviously going to do some great Q&A today.
Yes.
Ian's got an awesome demo lined up as well. I think, Ian, are you going to be doing a bit of custom work on the fly? Maybe one of the attendees' names?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, happy to do whatever.
If you want to make it Tom and SJ, that's fine with us. Don't want to neglect anyone out there. But
okay, just unlock my phone.
I just want to give a shout out as well to everyone on the call. And to clarify, there is definitely not 411 people here. I know that's a number some of you guys see. That's the people that are kind of subscribed to what we do with these calls. So currently there's 38 people on the call. But what a lovely bunch you are. So just to give a quick shout out, we have got Lady T, Narisa, Nick, Nista, Tracy, Susan H, Robert, Jocelyn, Lloyd, Floyd, Laurie, Rachel. Hey, Rachel. Anna, Dave Williams, Barbara, Deborah, Michelle, Gil, Alf, Julia, Michael, loads of people. Leah, Sherry. I won't
you're not even at the top. There's loads.
I won't be able to do this soon, but I always want to show some love to everyone on the call. Michael, Tatiana,
Aoife
every time. Ferry, Philip, Kirsten, Sandy, Pam, Leah, Sherry, Andrew, Aya, Herman, Susie, Dead Human.
Which is Carl.
Yeah. Carl,
Hi, Carl.
Leanne, and Paul. So, hey guys, thank you for jumping on. It should be a fun one today. Ian, obviously one of my favourite human beings. That's why I spend half my life talking to you. Get more time with you at this rate than my girlfriend, which is worrying. But yeah, leave a little comment actually if you're following Ian on Instagram, because how many followers have we got now? It's something ridiculous.
281,000.
Wow.
Just add that.
Yeah, just drop that in at the end. I follow you.
Yeah, so
I really appreciate it.
I loved my favourite one, which I still can't get over. Wasn't you were doing something with like celery or something? And I was like, how are you making celery look good?
So this is an inside story. Ian blew up because he started lettering with vegetables. That was one of the inflection points, I think, in what you're doing. It brought you a lot of attention. Got on the BBC.
And that's a tip. That's a tip for people. The thing is, it's like if I do something with my traditional calligraphy, if I use my traditional tools doing traditional things, it doesn't really go anywhere. Whereas if I do like combine things like, my lettering, but use a vegetable.
Yeah, it goes perfect.
It's two things that are not odd on themselves, but if you combine them, it's what the internet's like now. It's
anything that's weird.
Not like complete. Yeah, that's and that just gave me attraction.
Procreate. Would that work?
Sorry?
Can you use a carrot on Procreate?
I have used the chili pepper on Procreate. If you go back in my feed, you'll
really?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have linked Ian's Instagram, the little green button just below the video. So if you guys want to check that out, if you haven't seen it or you're not familiar, then you can just click that and it will take you straight through.
Yeah, I'm sure. On this call, we're going to get you to 300k, maybe.
No pressure.
Do you remember the random gift that we sent you along those lines?
Yes, you sent me a box of fresh vegetables.
Did they get eaten or did they get left covered in egg?
A bit of both. The thing is, like, people don't realise that there's a fine art to vegetable calligraphy, because some things are just too either wet and it just flops and doesn't really work, or some things are too dry and they don't soak up the ink and you just end up like you can't even draw a letter because you run out of ink. So
it doesn't.
You have to be
the man, Ian, so don't worry about that. No, I love that series. When are you bringing it back? We want to see some more vegetables.
Well, I did the sprouts last month.
Oh yeah,
Christmas.
That was slightly shoehorned. It was just worked.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling to find that. Well, there's certain, like the carrot works well. The chili pepper was amazing because it was like, because I filled the whole internal space it had with ink.
Yeah,
it just acts as a reservoir. That's the thing, is pens work because they've got a reservoir of ink. And so that worked so well. It was really messy. That's why I'm going so quickly. It's not sped up. I'm going so quickly because the ink was pouring out at such a rate I couldn't control it. So and then you see it right at the end. You see it starting to ooze out. It just kept on going, and it was just filling my page full of black ink. So it's a messy thing, but it's worth it for the traction.
You do like your little patterns in your coffee as well, right? Are you learning that from someone, or are you just making it up?
I need to get some training. Do you mean the latte art?
Yeah.
That's I'd say I'm trying to get better at. I think the thing is, this is also applies to lettering. I haven't had any training, and I've got to a point where actually I can't get any further without someone who knows what they're talking about teaching me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case of, like, you need to you can practice lettering just by practice lettering, but sometimes it's good to actually go on a course or get a good book that's well recommended to learn the sort of foundations of what you're trying to do, because you'll get to a limit and you won't be able to, like, there's things that teachers can tell you and that you can help you to push your craft onwards, whatever that may be.
You're always still learning, aren't you? Like, there's always something new to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always, and it's amazing. Amazing what you can learn from other people as well. Just tips and tricks. From whether that's doing stuff online or whether going to a local workshop. Yeah. I'm like, for me, I love books. So I'm always getting books from other lettering people, because there's always going to be something I can learn for them. Ideas I can get for my lettering. So just keep on learning. Don't stop.
Love it. I'm just setting up a poll now. Hold on. Some little emojis in there. So guys, just at the bottom of the video, if you click on polls, I've just set up a poll to see how many of you have Procreate versus don't. So if you jump in there super quick, I'm intrigued. Like, I know even if you don't, the this is going to be super interesting and useful and teach you some lettering techniques, and we can do some Q&A with Ian.
Well, I was saying I have never used Procreate, but I like honestly, Ian, I'm not joking. I would just sit and be mesmerized by your Instagram videos. Like I find them really soothing, just like watching the lettering and stuff. And I was like, I'm just fascinated to just see it in action, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's great. That's great for me.
Yeah, no, I bet you've got a lot of your audience that don't even have it. But
it's like a relaxation thing, yeah.
Well, I suppose a lot of people just enjoy watching someone use their craft, whether that's wood turning or sewing or painting or stuff like I quite like seeing especially like I've seen a lot of like the realist painters. There's this guy who does like lion and tigers like close up of their faces, and it is truly amazing.
Is it like photorealism?
Yeah.
Do you know Chuck Close? I remember studying him at school. He does a lot of human portraits, and similar thing. It would look like a photo, and he'd use a grid system, so he'd be able to break it up and get every detail perfect. But it was unbelievable.
It's like it's with acrylic paints, and it just looks like in the droplets of water if it's something that's wet, and it's just like it just blows my mind because I'm just trying some stuff out with like balloons, the foil balloons.
Oh yeah.
And I can see errors in it, but it's just amazing how people can do that with paint and art. Yeah, it's amazing.
I know, a lot of talented people out there. Right, looking at the poll, it's about half and half. So if you don't have an iPad and don't have Procreate, we hope you enjoy the demo.
Well, I saw a couple of comments, people saying, yeah, I agree, it's just because it's really mesmerising. So
yeah,
we're there for the mesmerising team.
And if you haven't voted yet, do cast your vote. We've got 44 people on right now. So Ian, are you happy if we jump into a demo? I would love, like, as well as watching you do your amazing lettering, if you have any kind of beginner's tips or tips as you go through it on Procreate, because I'm still a novice with myself, so I find it really interesting.
Okay, what were we going to...
I'm going to focus your screen so it takes over a little bit bigger.
All right.
Okay.
And while we're doing that, can you guys leave a quick comment and just say me with an exclamation mark if you would like Ian to letter your name?
This is going to blow up the chat now, Todd. Thanks.
We're waiting for you to come into the chat. Ian, if you're watching the chat as well, if you want to pick one, mate.
Yeah.
We're on the lag today. There we go. Michelle is the first one up. Anna.
Okay. With style, I don't know what to...
Sandy, Lady T, Laurie, Christy.
Yeah, Rachel. She's like, me.
Barbara. Oh, that's very kind of you, Barbara. But you're in the running as well.
Oh.
Maurice, Nista, Deborah, happy to shorten it to Deb. You're a considerate bunch, guys. Tatiana.
Feel like they're coming in too quick now. Look what you've done.
Marisa.
Babs, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Babs, I like that. Okay, Ian.
So before I start, I suppose if you're new to Procreate or new to the iPad, then there's just a few tools you need to know about first before you delve into all the other bits. And first is, I suppose, you've got these icons at the top here. And so the first one is all your brushes. You can get to all the brushes through all of these, but the first one is the one you draw with, and it gives you the list of all the brushes.
Moving the iPad down like half an inch because it's cutting off the icons right now.
Oh, is it?
That's it.
There we
Perfect.
go. Perfect. There you go. Oh, slightly down. Like a
That's
millimeter.
it.
That's the one.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
I was like, are we supposed to be seeing something?
Oh, sorry. And you're like, well, what is he going on about?
Ian, did you see Dave's comment?
No, it would.
He's saying, I'll let someone else have a turn. Dave's not an exciting name. Could be like Ian's builder. Could be builder mention.
Every week.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you know what the hell we're talking about. It's a little podcast side joke.
I was going to say, have I missed something here?
Okay, so let me start again. Can you, if you can't see it, then do tell me.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
The first icon is your brush library. This is the one you draw with, so I'll change the color.
Have you got like a chalk background there?
Yeah, I've got a chalk background, chalkboard. I think this is from my chalk dust kit. And so here we can choose any of the brushes. The library is massive in Procreate. The ones at the top here are my ones, and then the rest are just all the ones you can get. So you can get a variety of stuff. You can get like neon brushes. You've got air brushes. You've got like artistic ones and painting. So many ones. So that's where you can choose there, and that's a great way to just experiment. This little finger icon is for smudging. So if you're wanting to blend colors together, it just smudges it. And then the third one along is your eraser, and that's oh, hang on, I'm erasing the background. See, don't learn.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'll just show the layers for people who aren't so familiar. So the layers, like the two squares.
Yeah. So that's the eraser, and then you have your layers, and so this is the area where you can just keep what the advantage of doing it digitally is that you can layer your artwork. So you can have a separate layer for each element of your artwork.
Yeah.
And you can do depending on the size of your iPad and how much memory it's got. Depends on how many maximum layers. But I'm normally the stuff I use is about I don't know 24, 25 layers. But it depends how complex the artwork is that you're doing. So layers are really good. So that's just there. And then the last one is the color picker. So you have here you can just choose whatever color you want. You can change between how you like this model of choosing a color. Some of you might be familiar with these sort of things from like Photoshop or Illustrator, but they come with a variety of palettes as well. You can make your own. But I'll just use white for the minute. It stands out.
Sorry, Ian, did you show how do you delete a layer?
Oh, yes. So when you're on the layer palette, you can either click on the actual thumbnail and it'll give you a load of options, or slide it along and it'll ask you whether you want to delete it, duplicate it, or lock it.
Yeah.
So
you just slide to the left.
Slide to left?
Slide to the left. Two-step left down.
And so there's lots that I won't go into all the details of the stuff you can do with each layer because there's so many.
Moved over that one.
But,
didn't want to hear it. Not a fan of DJ Casper.
So let us. We need to choose someone's name, don't we?
Yeah.
So I can get going.
We do.
But
who I think it might have been Barbara had a question saying, "How do you load brushes in?" Is that
okay?
To demonstrate.
Yeah. I've got to think where I got. So to load brushes in, I'm trying to think of the best way.
Guys, while Ian's doing that, Pam, we can see your comments about getting the wrong cast. Apologies for that. We're actually talking with Crowdcast, who are the service behind this, to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it has done it a few times before. In fact, Ian and I had trouble with Ian getting on earlier when we were just checking everything out. It kept opening the last one that he was on for him.
Yeah.
But if you either head to the forum, Instagram or Facebook, there will always be a link there. And we're also sending reminders every Wednesday before the call. So if you're not on that list and you don't get that email from us, please do let me know. But I will email you after the call or pop you a DM if you're in the forum, and we'll make sure that you're ready and set for next week.
Awesome. Thanks, SJ. And in the meantime, just kind of shake your fist and say, "Damn technology," or something like that.
Yeah.
Are we
the thing is, sorry.
No, go ahead, mate.
The thing is about Apple haven't made it easy to unzip files on the iPad yet. So you have to use something like File Explorer or this one here, Documents, because you download brushes to the iPad, but you have to unzip them somehow. And you can't do that natively, so you have to use an external application.
Right.
So, for instance, I've got Letter Builder on here, and I can just unzip that.
Because what application did you get to unzip?
So this one's called Documents by Readle, or you can get File Explorer, which I explain in the instructions. Sometimes I haven't got it on here. I'm always trying to find a better solution because it changes with different software updates.
Yeah.
But with this one, you can just click on it and it will open up the folder, and it will give you all the brushes. So you go to Procreate, and it will show a brush set, and then what you can do is share it to Procreate. So once you click on it, because I'm a better loads of versions of Procreate, but all you need to do is then click on and it will just install it into your version of Procreate, and then it will pop up at the top here somewhere. Maybe if it's called Letter, if it was Letter Builder one, it will pop up with that folder with all the brushes inside it. So that's just one way. There is another way of just pressing the plus up here and then importing it that way. But you still have to go through the same process of unzipping the folder. So
isn't it?
There's instructions. Like if you get any of my brushes, I made sure there's instructions to go through it all. But I've had to put there's stuff on the actual product page of my website, because the problem is the instructions are inside the zip. So,
yeah.
So I've had to. There's like a video on my YouTube. There's a video on my product pages, just explaining this is how you do it, because it's a bit. It's
like they've not quite got there with that step yet.
No. So hopefully one day, Apple. One day. No. If you're watching.
Yeah. So today you're going to demo your chalk pack, which is hands down. It's got a Procreate version. It's got Illustrator and Photoshop version. It's the best chalk pack that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Recently, I got the same feedback from Lauren Hom, because we gave a little sample to her community and people were loving it. So
actually, they were tagging us on Instagram.
Yeah, they were like, it's so realistic, like it's amazing. So yeah, that is definitely one of the best Procreate packs that we sell.
It sort of tied in with why, I got like my chalk wall and I was getting into chalk work and I was like, using actual chalk work, and I was like, well, why don't I make some brushes?
I wouldn't even know where to start. That will have to be another lesson, how you actually make one.
Yeah. I'm happy to go through that. So whose name are we doing?
Oh, well, it's up to you.
You decide.
Do you want to have a little scroll up in the chat, or let us know if you want us to pick, if you're focused on the iPad?
Yeah, you pick. I don't want
to do the others?
I feel like we should go with Michelle if it's not a long one, because she was first to jump in.
Go on then.
Is that fair?
You snooze, you lose.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like so diplomatic here. I'm not.
Okay. What I do is combine a few of my products so I can show you. So two of my other products is like Letter Builder and Grid Builder. They're ones that help you to either Grid Builder is for composing lettering pieces, because I know that a lot of people struggle with that. I struggle with that. It's putting together compositions, and that helps with the layout. So I'll show you. So this is what I normally do. I normally do a quote, but if we're just doing a word, so I would lay out first what I want the shape like. So I'm gonna make it sort of angled, so I can show you some effects and show you some techniques. So that would be the first thing I do. Then I just reduce the opacity by clicking on. There's a little letter on. It's hard to see on here because of the quality, but there's a little letter, and you can then reduce the opacity.
Oh yeah.
Quite easy. So I knock that back, and then I create a new layer, and then maybe change the color so I can see the difference. And then I get my Letter Builder one, and then I think, okay, so Michelle's name's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters in it. So let's go for this one. And then I draw out 1, 2, 3, 4. When I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I say 8?
Yeah,
you did.
I need to draw out 3, 4,
guys
5,
are
6,
loving this in the
7.
comments, by the way, Ian. They're like, this is exactly what I wanted to see.
Good.
So this is perfect.
Yeah, because I do need to do it. Right, it keeps straightening. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So when it makes a line, I can then increase or decrease the space, and holding down my finger enables it to lock to the horizontal or the vertical. So I can adjust the spacing, which is quite cool. So this is to help me gauge where the letters are going to be.
It's such a genius product.
And then what I'm using now is the arrow, which is on the top there, which is the selection tool or the move tool. And then what I can do is like grab the corner and enlarge it. And then I want to bring it down to the bottom. And then I can use, down here, we've got a lot of options. One of them is called warp, which means I can actually really refine the shape of it. So I can now bring up the central bit to match that line.
Oh, cool.
So, and I often use this sort of effect on some of my pieces and some of my videos. So if this is something you've been wanting to do. So once I'm happy with that, I can then, again, reduce the opacity of that. And actually, I could probably turn off by clicking the tick box on that layer. So I've just got the grid builder, letter builder ones. Now I normally just rough out the letters. So I'm going to rough out the name.
Sure. Lloyd or anyone else, if you do miss any finer details, the replay will be available, and you can go back and like pause and
so it's the same link, and after the video is finished, it will just be a play button, and it'll be a video that you can watch back. So don't worry if you miss anything or you wanted to sort of pause and go back, then you will be able to do that once the live is finished.
And don't worry as well, if you don't have any of these tools, we're going to let you know where you can grab them at the end, because I love them. I think they've been some of the most popular stuff this month at Design Cuts as well.
What I do now is I just sketch out the letters. So with the letter M and the letter M, letter W, because they're such wide letters, we didn't want to compromise. So this is the letter builder and a grid builder is something I did in collaboration with Stefan Kunz. If you follow him on Instagram as well. We didn't want to reduce the integrity of the wider letters. So every other letter alphabet fits in these letters, but we had to make exception for the two that were really wide, which is M and W. So for M, we have to do half the shape. And then what I'm going to do is select it. Oh, I've done it again. See, I've been drawing on the actual grid. So this is what luckily, this is the thing about having an undo.
Even the pros make mistakes.
Yeah. So, I get halfway through and realize I've been drawing on top of the grid, and it's part of the actual letters.
Are you getting enough letters as well if M takes up 2?
I'll show you that.
Ooh, okay.
I've got tips for that. Cool. Don't try and catch them out, Tom.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. It makes me better as a letterer. So what I do is I do half of the M. So we do one part, and then I grab this S icon, which is the selection tool, and then I can actually, I don't need to do that because it's the only thing on the layer. I can swipe to the left, duplicate it, get the move tool again, and then flip what I've just duplicated.
What did you hit to flip it?
Flip.
Oh, we've
don't worry, it's outside, but we trust you.
Flip horizontally, making sure on freeform. Then I can just move it into place. I'll adjust it as well because it's obviously going along the bottom. Then what you can do, you can use your fingers as well. You can squeeze those together and create one letter.
You become one.
This, to me, is just like so much better than like. I'm probably going to get hate for saying this, but for someone who needs ease, this looks so much better than like Photoshop and stuff, where you can just like squeeze the letters together. And I know, please don't come for me in the comments.
No, I agree.
So so that's how you do M. So
now you're going to do it. The eye only takes up the right part of the second.
Yeah, so the eye only takes up that little area there. So it's already sort of sorted out the spacing as well, which is that's just coincidence. I'm not saying it every time. So now I can, just use the guides. These make it. The reason why we produce these is just to get you to a point where you can start flexing your sort of creative muscles quicker, because the foundations of the letters are here, but not the creative part, which is what you guys bring to it. Mm-hmm. So you can quickly get your rough letters laid out with using Sorry, I'm checking, making sure I was spelling it right.
This is already so much better than any lettering I could do.
I'm like, it just makes it look so easy.
Don't you hate that? It's always these demos where I forget that we're on a live call. I need to.
Yeah.
I know, because I'm just like,
Ooh, yeah, Bobby says she's got the grid builder, but she needs the letter builder too. Highly recommended. Like I say, it's one of the most popular things this month, and hope you can see just how useful it is.
So now I'm going to do a sort of similar thing. So what I'm going to do is reduce. What is that? Just combine those together. There you go. Squeeze them together again. I'll just reduce it, and then I can now start to be a bit more, a bit neater with what I'm trying to do. It might be the case that I wanted to change the spacing and stuff like that. So I'll do it in doing this rough stage. It might be the case, actually. Let me show that. It might be the case. I want those L's actually I want to make a bit thinner. So I want them to be like that sort of shape, and obviously my spacing now is a little bit off. So now I can get my selection tool, go around that, get my move tool, move it a bit closer.
So cool. Oh, that's so sweet. Anna is watching it with her daughter.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Hi, Anna.
hello.
How old's your daughter, Anna?
Also, Sandy was following along at the same time, like doing this live in her Procreate.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's cool.
So now, I'll go down and I will. And you don't have to just do the outline. You could, by making my brush really big.
5 months
5
old,
months.
Anna.
Oh, wow.
That's so cute.
That's really cool. Start them early, Anna. That's how you're going to build a world.
Yeah.
Give her the Apple Pen though. She'll probably end up chewing it or something at that point.
She loves patterns and colours.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it really is.
So other ways, just like really filling it in and then just going over and erasing. So if you were in a real rush,
Yeah, quite cool.
like that. But I will.
I'm literally just fascinated by it. I just feel like that would never be me then. I'm never going to be able to do this.
I feel like we're watching a sped up video.
Have you got any questions? Is there any questions I can answer while I'm?
Hi, Richard, by the way. Thanks for joining.
Can you multitask like that?
Because there is a lot of questions we can give you whilst you're doing it.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Happy to.
All right, let's take it from the bottom. I don't know which one's
that come in first.
Is that the first?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sandy asked, how do you even get the chalk background? I'm confused.
So the chalk background is part of the pack, and it comes in a Procreate file. So you just you can either import it by going to the gallery and pressing, I think there's an import button, or you can locate it once you've unzipped it.
Yeah.
And then you can just share it to Procreate, and it will open that way as well.
Amazing.
So we got Laurie's question, how do you add new brushes, which we've already done, so that was really helpful.
Yep.
So
Kirsten. Kirsten says, hi, I've got a question. Where do you think is the border between making a perfect design and making things too perfect? She's not a letter artist, but a painter. And she always feels like a painting can be overworked and lose some of the strength and life of it. Have you got any ideas for that? So, yeah, basically, where's that borderline for you, Ian, between something being overdone or undercooked?
I often find I undercook stuff a lot. So, not in general. We don't want people to come around my house thinking they're going to get some undercooked meals, but I suppose the longer I spend on it, the better it's going to be. And yeah, I think yeah, you can. I suppose I can keep refining, but I suppose there has to be a point when there's not much else I can do in terms of my skills and what is left to do with the composition, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's normally the other way around. And also, I suppose the way I do things, I'm restrained by time of like maybe posting. I need to get it up there, and so I get it to a point where it's like, okay, I'm happy enough with this to put it out there. So, now I'm going to do a bit of 3D type, and there's many ways you can do that. There's a tutorial on my YouTube channel if you're interested. But
Ian,
this one I'm going to
super quickly, mate. We've got a comment from Richard saying, if you don't want to undercook a design, maybe try steaming it. Keeps all the nutrients.
True.
Let us know in the comments if you saw Richard's hilarious pun design for our rebrand on our Instagram stories yesterday. You saw it, right, with the Design Clutch poster of us. This hashtag Design Clutch brings up a load of hairdressers.
Richard.
He designed something for us and we shared it. It was so funny.
Yeah, I loved it.
So we've got another question from Michelle, who says, funny enough, we're doing her name now. How do you get people to notice you? Meaning, how do you get them to want you to do work for them?
So I suppose one tip is to decide on what sort of work you want. So if you're like, there's someone I follow who does lettering on book covers. And so what she does is make her feed full of lettering on book covers.
Yeah.
Whether, her making up example covers and, redoing one book she likes, so like that. And then, having a big, long portfolio of book covers, even though they're made up, gives the client or whoever a look into what you can do, your skill set and stuff like that. So then they're going to...
I don't understate how valuable that tip is, because it sounds so obvious, but most people just don't do it.
Yeah.
Taking the time to actually getting out of that space of I want anyone who's going to pay me, and actually thinking more deeply about the type of work you want to be doing. And then, like Ian says, filling your feed with that exact type of work. If you are someone looking to get a book cover design, who are you going to choose? The generic, all over the place feed, or the one that's exclusively book covers? So I think some people maybe worry about niching down, but as we talked about on the Honest Designers a lot, mate, it's so powerful to do that.
Definitely. Yeah, it means that they, if you want to do logo design, then fill your feed with logo design and try and be the best you can with that logo design. So, for me, it's been amazing to niche down and how much opportunities that's opened up in terms of work and working with other brands. You feel that you're going to be restricted, but actually it opens up a whole new world. Sort of, I niche down to lettering, but that lettering encompasses type design. It encompasses chalkboards. It encompasses, sign painting and all those different things, working with vegetables. it produces a lot more than you think it does. So.
Ian, the quote with Blair Enns on the podcast recently, where he said, if you're in a hallway and there's 12 doors, people are frozen in the hallway and afraid to pick a door because they feel like it's going to limit them. But when you pick one of the 12 doors, it leads you to a corridor with infinite doors, which you never could have imagined. I like that.
Yeah, I like
that. It's a really good one. And I think it's, but the thing is that don't worry if you don't enjoy it, then you can just change. We talked last night about pivoting. It's not a problem. Explore, see if it's going to work out. If it doesn't, then don't feel free to pivot over.
We actually, Ian, obviously, let's focus on the amazing lettering for now. But if you remember near the end, I'd love to get some questions for the Honest Designers show.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, hold on, while you do this, let me do another poll.
I said, well, I'm
Yeah, it really stuck with me actually.
so what I've done, just to explain what I've done here, is I've duplicated that layer, made it a little bit smaller, and now what I'm doing is just joining it up with the letters above, just to give it a sort of a 3D effect.
Oh, cool.
This is very cool.
It's basically it's one of the trends of 2019 is 3D type. So.
It's got a real like 50s movie feel to it, almost. Like
it's giving me like Ghostbuster vibes. I don't know why.
I like it.
Do you know what I mean? Though
I'm getting almost like B movie, like when giant spiders attack. When Michelle attacks. This is cool. Yeah, guys, while Ian is finishing the shading, I just put a new poll in. So if you click on polls, I did one. If you listen to Ian and myself and Lisa and Dustin jabber on every week on the Honest Designer Show, I'd be intrigued how many listeners are on the call right now. A couple of people said yes.
I think Dave said he got in for the first vote then.
Nice.
So now I'm doing another layer, and what you can do is click on the thumbnail and create a clipping mask. If you use Photoshop, you'll be familiar with this terminology, but what it means is that anything I do in that layer is restricted to the layer below. So what I'm going to do now is get a darker grey, and then
Richard just said the attack of the 50-foot Michelle. And I would love to see this evolve now to that poster.
Ian's just committed to designing a new movie poster and he didn't even know it.
Thank you to everyone, by the way, who listens to the podcast, who just voted in the poll. And for the 2 people that don't, go check it out. It's fun. This is nice. It's kind of grainy. What brush are you using now? Is this just another chalk one?
Yeah, this is some chalk dust. So I got a grater. Did I get a grater or something like that? No, a pencil sharpener, and pencil sharpened to the bits of chalk, and then I scanned it in. So
that's cool.
All in the day's work.
So we're nearly.
It was on our stories. It's probably expired now, but it's in the forum as well.
Is Richard on Instagram?
No, he's not.
Richard, sort it out.
But it was the hashtag thread in the forum that we were talking about. But it expires after 24 hours on Instagram stories, so that's why it's probably gone now.
I'm
just seeing the attack of the 50-foot Michelle now.
we could do that. Actually, then what we could do is like one more shadow, which is
cool. I'll tell you what. If I would love to see that. If you're happy to do that, let's combine questions. Normally we do Q&A afterwards, but that way we can flesh out the design and do the questions. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what you got there. Up here we go.
Right, take it away.
Okay, so this is from Barbara, aka Babs. I am an extreme beginner in Procreate and have seen that a lot of artists start in Procreate and finish in an Adobe program such as Illustrator or Photoshop. Do the layers import well into those programs, or are you basically just importing a sketch that you recreate in those programs?
So
Scotty Russell answered this, didn't he, on his score? I'm intrigued. Got the same answer in.
Yeah, so you can share this straight to a PSD. So you can save it as a PSD. So it'll have the same layers. It will include, like, if it's got a clipping mask, it will use those, or if it's got like a mask for erasing stuff, it will keep those. So for Photoshop, think of this as Photoshop on your iPad, because Adobe haven't pulled their finger out yet and got it onto the iPad. So in that way, it's like a smooth transition. There might be a reason why they need to take it to Photoshop, but because this is not a vector program like Illustrator, you're limited by the size of the canvas you make. So and so that is something of if you need to make it really, really big, I normally make it in here and then take it into Illustrator, image trace it, or there's another one called Image Vectorizer, where I convert it into like black and white vector and then recolor it in Illustrator, or recolor it in Affinity Designer if you haven't got Illustrator.
Cool.
So, for instance, this one I did for my church here, I made it, and I normally use a canvas size of like 5,000 pixels by 3750 pixels. And then what I did was I turned it black and white, and then I exported it and then image traced that black and white version and then recolored it in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but if it's for like a card or something that's like, you can do a size like up to like, because like if you do it too big, it reduces the amount of layers you have. Some machines might not be able to cope with that size, but so there's normally a reason why people take it into another application. For me, it's usually because it needs to be on a massive banner and it's not big enough and it'll lose quality.
Yeah.
We actually we had Sarah, Sarah or Sarah? Do we know?
This question.
Yeah,
Sarah. Normally, if it's with that.
So Sarah was asking about printing and canvas size. So hopefully that answers your question, Sarah. About if you want it really, really big, you might have to vectorize it in Illustrator. And also Nick was asking about websites that distribute products and work without permission. I would say we've actually done a full episode about that topic on the Honest Designers show. So if you want to check that out, that's like an hour of us breaking down like how often it happens and steps you can take. And a lot of it kind of comes down to not stressing out. If you spent your whole time worrying about that, you wouldn't get anything done. So even though
and the thing is, you have like people, we have a lovely audience that appreciate the work we do, and it wouldn't be the people that go and find if they know it's someone's work that is free and is paid for and they're giving it away for free. They'd normally, because I often get message saying, found your stuff, someone was giving it away for free, and I was like, thank you for letting me know, but there's not a great deal I can do.
Those sites tend to be the ones, like we obviously know because we have to deal with it in customer support, and you often don't hear back from them because they don't even have anyone picking up their emails kind of thing. They're not particularly supportive or easy to get hold of.
We've done it before though. Obviously we're known for being very nice, I hope, at Design Guys. This is like one of the few things that will really wind us up. So we've done it before to help a designer out, where we've had to contact their web host and get the whole site shut down because it was just really illegal what they're doing.
Yeah.
I like this. This is coming together.
Okay, do you want...
I think that was most of the questions, by the way. So if you guys want to know anything else.
Richard did leave a question in the chat, which is completely random, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Go on.
He said, what's your favourite cheese to eat whilst using Procreate?
Definitely Wensleydale and cranberry.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Wallace and Gromit number.
Yeah.
Although I'll tell you a really horrendous story about that. You probably don't care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We were making nachos the other night, me and my husband, and we ran out of cheese, but that was all we had left, from Christmas. And Stuart loves it, and he was like, "Oh, that'd be fine. Like, it'll give them like a really nice, sweet tinge." So he grated it all over our nachos.
And then melted
it. It didn't even melt; it just burnt to a crisp. It was horrible. Awful. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Ruin the whole thing.
When are you starting that online cookery show?
I'm not ever.
You have to smouldering cranberry. Sprinkle on top.
It was honestly so bad.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Oh, thanks, Pam. She said Design Cuts freebies are awesome.
Appreciate it, Pam. Okay, so Ian, are you doing an extra word on top? And I will use...
Would you want me to do attack of the 50-foot mark, Michelle?
Do you want us to want you to do it? Are you happy to do it?
Is Michelle happy to do it?
Michelle?
Michelle,
would we offend you if we enlarged your proportions and made you 50 foot tall? Let us know.
Is that Barbara and Anna saying you don't know what the cheese is, or have I missed something else?
Richard said the smouldering cranberry is actually a pub in Knightsbridge.
Michelle said go for it, Ian.
Amazing.
Okay.
All right. While Ian does that, in fact, I'm going to do another poll.
You're loving the polls today.
I am. I'm liking the polls. So give me 2 secs. Keep watching lovely Ian's work.
What cheese is that? How do you explain it? It's like a really creamy cheese that comes in a block, but with bits of cranberry in it. Is that
It's a fruity cheese. It's cheese with fruit in it.
Yeah.
Actually, any cheese with fruit in it.
Basically, yeah. It just, for some reason, it doesn't melt, clearly.
Okay, so yeah, I just put a new poll. So if you click polls at the bottom of the video, I don't know how many of you guys know, we've literally just launched a Procreate section in the marketplace, which I'm really excited about because so many people, like we say, are getting into Procreate. And so like anything else we're doing at the minute in the marketplace and at Design Cuts, we wanted to cherry pick the best ones available anywhere, including Ian's, of course, because they're amazing. So we've gone and found all the best Procreate brushes in the world and basically flooded them into this section. You get the option to save 50% on them, like anything in the marketplace, and there's some real gems, including the letter builder, the grid builder that we're looking at now, the chalk packs from Ian.
Yeah.
You've got a few more as well, Ian, right? You've got like the lettering brushes.
So what have I got? The brush script set, which has got worksheets in it. What else have I got? Have I got? I can't remember what I've made now. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for what the Tack of the 50-foot woman posters look like. Okay. So I can be authentic.
Well, that's another tip as well. Don't always try and make it up. Go to your source material.
And Ian, Michelle had asked that would you mind if she shared this on her Instagram as you're doing it?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be awesome. Okay, cool. So, guys, I can see most people haven't yet grabbed them. I presume for a lot of you guys that have Procreate, you might not be aware of it. It's only just launched today. So we're going to update the little button down the bottom.
I think there was also another question that I don't know if we missed it, Tom, but a couple of the guys were asking, how do you like organize your brushes in Procreate? I know you probably can't do that right now, but is it something you can talk through? Or
yeah, so you can create folders, give the folder a name. So you might whether it's your brushes or someone else. When like Grid Builder will come in, all the brushes in that folder. Same with chalk dust, it comes in there. So if you just wanted to make your own and drop in, like maybe have like your most used ones.
Yeah.
At the top of the brush library is the plus symbol, so you can click that. Call it DC, and then you can just drag and drop. You can either add a brush like that, and you just have a shape source and a grain source. There's a pro library, which means that there's already inbuilt shapes that you can make your own with, and then you can start populating ones you make, or you just can drag and drop like you would with files and folders on your computer.
And do you have yours in any particular order, or are they just kind of the way that you
normally I have the ones like the sets like I've either made or have maybe purchased from someone up here, and then the rest are all the ones that you can include in Procreate. So yeah, that's normally how I
love it. So guys, if you look just at the bottom of this video, I've got a link to the new Procreate section. I think it's ordered by most popular. And
did you write that?
Yeah. Procreate goodness.
Sorry.
Follow my little Homer Simpson noise. And yeah, if you go there, it's they're all in there. There's pages and pages of all incredible brushes for Procreate, including the ones Ian's demoing right now. And you will see they're actually some of the currently most popular because it's ordered by the top ones at the minute. So go check it out if you get a moment.
I have a question for you guys as well. I won't do a poll on it because I feel like we've gone a bit poll crazy today, but let us know in the comments if you've seen our Procreate competition in the forum yet, which went out today. If not, I can pop a link in the chat. We have launched a competition today which will allow you to grab any Procreate product of your choosing if you were to be the selected winner. So let us know in the comments if you've seen it or if you haven't seen it. And I will pop a link to that for you guys to check it out if you fancy giving it a go.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see what people create.
Same. I'm so excited.
And we will, obviously, Ian's going to be setting the weekly homework. I've been loving what people have been creating. You guys are a very, very creative bunch, so we can't wait to share last week's entries and jump into a new challenge. Laurie said, "Oh my goodness, the new Procreate section looks amazing." Thank you, Laurie.
So much.
As I say, guys, like, yeah, I'm really proud of what we're putting in there. We've only found the best ones, so there's no filler, there's no kind of average ones in there. They're all really, really, really good quality, and you can save 50% on them, which you literally can't get anywhere else. So check it out.
Oh no, Deborah, you obviously don't have Procreate.
Don't worry, Deborah, because, and everyone else, you don't need to have Procreate for this week's challenge.
Not for the challenge, no. But for the competition.
For the competition, yeah.
But we are going to be setting some homework which doesn't require Procreate. Ian will do that at the end of the call, so no fear, we have another option for you. So let me just pop that link in here if you guys who didn't see it did want to check it out. There's the link to the competition.
Yeah, go check it out, guys.
And that'll be running until next Thursday, so a week today. Same sort of time frame as the homework will be running, so you don't forget they'll be expiring at the same time.
Love it.
I'm loving this impromptu movie poster.
Who was it? Was it Richard?
Richard said it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Richard, always coming up with
those. 50 foot, for sure.
Philip was saying that we love emptying pockets because
Sorry,
they're all spending their money.
We don't. We love equipping you guys with the best tools you can use to create amazing work and make even more money back than you spent.
There's a reason that Lady T lives in a cardboard box, guys, just saying.
This is really cool.
I love it. I just love also like how Ian could just come up with this
on the fly,
nowhere, yeah,
and like really rapidly as well.
It's all the years where I had to sit and have a client sitting by my on my desk looking at me, and I had to like do things like working on magazines and like.
Yeah,
can you move that a bit to the right, please?
Yeah.
Can you make it?
Can you make the logo bigger?
Doesn't quite wow me yet, Ian. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, this has to get shared on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know if Michelle saw us get permission for that, but you can definitely share it on your Instagram, Michelle. And hopefully our lovely social team will as well. I'm getting a wave and a thumbs up over
there. T said, seriously, can I just set it up to have my pay directly deposited to Design Cuts credit? We have been looking at credits, actually. We've had a few people ask about that.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot recently.
Yeah, if that would help you, let us know. Not depositing your wage, Jeff, but being able to have credits.
We're getting lots of "Can you make it pop" in the comments, Ian, over here.
Love it, Andrew.
The barber version.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering what we're talking about with the barbershop stuff, it is the bane of my existence that from starting the company, the hashtag Design Cuts on Instagram has just blown up and evolved into like barbershops. So it's like all these fades going on and like elaborate haircuts.
Yeah.
And so all the barbers out there must be wondering what on earth is happening because there's like interspersed design work. And all the Design Cuts community are wondering why they're seeing like, you know, all this
Nike ticks in the back of people's heads. But if you guys didn't know, we actually have just started using our own official hashtag, which isn't owned by anyone else. So there isn't any other weird stuff when you search for it. So if you are using Instagram and you want to tag us up so we can see your designs or so you can share them with the rest of the community, then you want to hashtag Design Cuts community, all one word, and that will keep them all in one place and not amongst other hair dudes.
Unless you like both.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be there,
day,
then go for it. What I'd love to see is Ian to like write something in the back of like your head or something, like get it shaved in.
Be like a charity thing.
Yeah, can I just really categorically say that it's never happening?
I feel like Janet could probably go for that. We'll rope him in.
We get Janet. He's easily led, that boy. Richard said, we are always shaving a bit off our prices. Yay, official hashtag, Rachel said. Yeah, get involved, Rachel. And the great thing about hashtags, when they are quite new, it's a really good way to get your work noticed because you're not drowning in a sea of hashtag noise.
Just saw a question there from, is that Colleen? You can, it doesn't have to be lettering. You can create art as long as it's something done on the iPad or Procreate, I should say. Then yeah, submit whatever. And I think somebody asked me in the forum earlier if they've already created something, can they submit that, or does it have to be new? If you guys have had Procreate for a while and you've designed loads of stuff, feel free to upload one of those. It doesn't have to be something that you're doing today, because we know that some of you have been using it for a while already, so that's fine also.
This is really cool. Ian, I think you're creating a lot of inspired people out there.
Rachel's with me on the design class barber shaving head idea, by the way. Just saying.
With Janet, yeah, not me. This is really cool. It looks almost like it's made out of stone. It's like Stonehenge.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to add some sort of like
this is so cool.
I
you
love
love to
it.
be able to just do that.
I know what I mean. Like, just sit down and I'm like I say, I can't get over it, to be honest.
like I could. What we're going to do. So sometimes I like duplicate something if I want to combine it together. So I've just got like a spare bit. Oh, and that's not the bit I want though. Where is it? Here we go. So let's delete some of these layers. Duplicate that.
Have you lost 50 foot deliberately?
No, there it is. Delete that. Flatten that. So the reason why I want to do that is so that I can then erase all the bits of it. So now I can get one of my brushes. So look, this one, and I can just start.
Is that your mic, by the way, or is your voice slightly croaky? You're sounding like the Batman of lettering.
Am I?
Yeah,
is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. might be the angle.
It could have been. Like, I can hear a small sound coming from my phone, which is right next to my phone as well.
That thing where we could just hear each other because he's using his iPhone to record this.
Infinite loop.
So he had to put headphones on the iPhone as well.
Yeah.
By the way, Ian, everyone's absolutely loving this in the comments. They're like, wow, this is amazing. This is so good. They're absolutely blown away.
Thank you very much.
I'm blown away. That's awesome.
Maybe I can corner the market in 50s, 1950s B movie posters.
So cool.
It's a good question, actually, from Lady T. She's worried that if she grabs too many Procreate brushes, won't it use up all the iPad memory, which isn't that substantial?
Yeah, what's the memory like?
What say you?
Do you mean memory as in space, or memory as in speed of the device?
I'm guessing she means speed of device, unlike the RAM on your computer, but let us know.
It shouldn't affect that because it's just the storage. It's storage in terms of where they're stored. But I don't think they use up much space. Like, I've got like loads of files on here, and I've still only used like 1%. And like even on my older ones, which didn't have as much space, like after 2 years of working in Procreate, I still had like a third of the space left of the iPad. So it's
okay.
I hope that answers your question, Lady T.
These little details add so much. It's nuts.
Now it really is like breaking through, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you done this before? Yeah. Are you based on this composition?
This is what we practiced earlier. And I'm joking.
Yeah.
We did it, I promise.
Because if you are truly just making this whole thing up on the spot, that is crazy.
Absolutely.
Well, I a couple of times I've done the sort of this sort of effect, the sort of rocking, the broken rock sort of thing.
I love it. Yeah, lots of people saying that they don't think their brushes take up too much space.
Yeah.
iPads have a lot more memory now, like especially more than phones anyway.
If I was Michelle, with your permission I would totally like want to get this on my own t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or on a poster or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to give her the final thing once it's done.
This is so cool. Thank you for doing it, mate.
Yeah, so at the moment, Pam, to make it look like it's kind of like broken rock or whatever, just adding some cracks and having some bits falling off.
It's just, it's like, yeah. There's no like technique to it. It's just I'm going around going. There's a little bit
quite randomly.
Add a little bit there, you know. You could, you know, if you want to go like I've done there, you can grab the selection tool, and maybe if I grab the corner, grab the corner over there, and then I can move it or like rotate it a bit so it's falling off. There we go. There we go. So, yeah. There, I think that's enough cracks. Let's quickly look at, you know, it's good just get reference material. Not that the poster doesn't actually look anything like this, but that sort of, you know, was it B movie poster before, you know, for color. So yeah, just once you have a rough idea, just go in and look at, you know, there's stuff in vintage. Like here you go. It's, I suppose what we're going for is this sort of like, I put that up to the screen.
Yeah.
You're going for that sort of thing, aren't you? Sort of like big and, you know, maybe I should have done it all in. So like the 50-foot woman bit could be, and you mask that sort of like, you know, sort of jagged edges, like it's a paintbrush that's actually been
is that you just erasing bits out, is it?
Yeah, just erasing. But what's nice is that you can use masks. So if I'm not happy with that, I can either put it back in or just delete the mask and start again. It's not a permanent thing, unless like me, you forget and then you start thinking that you've actually added and I can maybe add a shadow in there. So
I just love how you're just literally just this rolls off the top of your head.
It's just a case of just playing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to experiment, and I've done a lot.
Pam said, now that you've done it all, I presume this is what you mean, Pam, now that you've done it all in white, is it easy to then change that to a different colour?
Yep. So there's let me sort this out. So
do you find like it's really hard to stop when it's slightly unfinished?
There's things that, you know, I can't get that right using the wrong brush. Oh, that's right. There you go. Just wanted a little shadow underneath the of there, so it stood out a bit. Anyway, so yeah, so that color was like red. Like, you know, we could completely change it. So background could be that sort of yellow, and then we could change part of Michelle into, I'll do it and I'll go back because I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but you can do an alpha lock, which means that when I go over it with a color, actually what you can do is add another layer on top and then create that a clipping mask again, and then we can just get like a deep red. I'm not great with color, so if this looks rubbish, then I do apologize. I've created myself, always create myself in the standard calligraphy brushes. There's one called Monoline. I duplicate that and make it really big.
Yeah.
So then when I can just quickly go over the top of some of the letters. So, and you know, so like, as you can see, it doesn't go anywhere else but on those letters.
That's really cool.
So, but it's looking a bit rubbish, so I'll go back to black and white.
Ian, as you mentioned colour, I'm excited just on a side note here because we're doing an article where we get tips on how to pick the best colours and like saved colour palettes from some of the top designers we work with, including Lisa actually. So people that are really natural and really good at picking colours, they're basically putting together a sample colour palette, so you can go through the article and pick your favourites and download them.
Oh,
That will
that's
also
good.
be live
Should be
in
pretty
the
fun.
forum as well. We're going to put it in there for you guys to check out.
Awesome. But yeah, Ian, if you are looking for colours for your pieces, hopefully there's a few good ones in there. You can just
That'd be
nick
good.
Oh, look, Lady T, is there going to be a Procreate bundle? Hint, hint. We've had a few of those questions actually.
Yeah, we have.
T.
Maybe, but there is very much so a Procreate section. So yeah, there has yet to be a bundle. There may well be. We're getting more of them in the artistic bundles, but yeah, we realise the majority of people still don't have it. So we always want them to have, you know, good appeal for most of the community. But yeah, we're definitely getting more of them in bundles as well. But yeah, do remember in the marketplace, you can essentially build your own bundle. That's very unique to Design Cut, so you can literally pick and choose the products that you want, and the more products you get, the more you're saving it, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, here we go. The special effects are going in there.
It's gone quite pixelated now. I want the connection to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's the iPhone, because like my MacBook seems to be doing well. Oh, come on, iPhone. Oh, is that better? That's a bit better.
Maybe. Yeah. It's all right. We get the idea.
Actually,
there we go.
Yay, we're back.
Oh no. Slightly, yeah. And we're back. It's going back and forth between like looking like it's been filmed on a potato versus normal.
I don't think I could ever just sit and come up with a design like this with zero planning. I could, but it would be horrendous.
This is like most of my days, so I have to sit there and come up with something.
A question that I've always wanted to ask, especially you, Ian, and other sort of hand letterers and stuff. What is your like just normal handwriting like? Is it really nice?
Let me.
I just always like wanted to know if you.
Sometimes
it's pretty messy, right?
The thing it is really messy because I learned copperplate calligraphy, which was doing a letter by letter.
Yeah.
Not writing lines and lines of. So if I'm writing it, like a lot of it, you know, maybe writing it down on a notepad of notes for something I need to do, then it's quite messy because I had general messy handwriting and this hasn't corrected it. So I'd have to go back, or not go back, I'd have to start actually writing. There's certain styles of calligraphy that really suit handwriting because it's easy to do it quickly.
Natural.
You know, it's the styles you see in like handwritten notes from wartime, or you know, you see in, you know, the documents of independence, you know, what they're called. You know, it's stuff that is easy to do over a long period of time. So one day I'll get round to that.
Writing in other styles sometimes, or not really?
Sorry?
Do you find yourself ever writing in different styles when you are just like making notes or whatever?
Yeah, but it's like I might start in one style and then move into another style. And we're like, an interesting collection of styles that probably people can't read because I'm like doing my shopping list and it's not making any sense. So
right,
let's see.
Yes, we probably have about a couple of minutes,
okay,
and then we can get into the weekly homework if you're good on time. Then
yeah.
I could watch this all day, but
do you think, Ian? I mean, I know you may or may not want to go and put some finishing touches on this or whatever, just for fun. But would you be happy to share it with us in the forum thread afterwards if I send you the direct link?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I know Michelle
Happy to do that.
to share it and stuff, so we'd love to just see kind of, you know, what it ends up like, and then it'll probably be better quality than the screen share as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll send you the direct link for the thread for this call, and then you can just pop it in there. That'd be really cool.
Brilliant. Yep, we'll do that. And
I
right.
in the comments, by the way, never say never on the Procreate bundle.
Everyone's going mad for it.
But yeah, I'm also glad to see some good feedback about how you can build your own bundle with whatever you want in it in the marketplace, because yeah, that is very unique, that feature. So it's always good to see people using it.
So should we have a look at last week's homework and then get Ian to set this week's?
Let's do it. So Ian, if you're putting the very final touches on that, we might maximize your screen.
And then over and share ours so we can go through last week's homework.
Cool. I will let SJ do that.
We can't have another screen, can we? So if I just do this, that will not be inside iPad.
I think it will just replace us with sharing our
I just don't want to lose Ian, though.
It's all right. Ian, can you just shout if something weird happens, because we won't be looking at it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Right, let's share mine then and see what happens. That's it, right?
Yeah, and then share. And then go on whatever tab you like.
Okay, so
Ian, are you seeing that? Like, can everyone see what we're looking at?
Yeah, full screen.
Cool, amazing.
Perfect. So obviously last week we had Michael from, we were saying Fugstrator, but it's Foogstrator, right? We got it wrong, I think.
I still say Fugstrator, Foogstrator.
We had Michael on the call and he set your Hangout homework for the week. So thank you to everyone who participated in the forum and on Instagram. We're going to have a look at some of last week's entries. So the challenge was design something showing depth in space, but without using the effects panel. So let's have a little scroll through. I don't know, have you seen these yet? Not all of them.
I haven't seen any of them. I've been too crazy this week. Ian?
Yeah.
How big is our screen? Is it really tiny, or can you kind of see what we're looking at well enough?
Yeah, you can see the different submissions there.
Amazing.
Okay, so I think one of the main questions was it space as in outer space? And a lot of you said, you know, space can mean anything. So it was kind of just go with what you feel. So let's have a little
artistic
look.
license.
This, I have to say, is one of my favorites.
That's so cool from the very talented Tanya.
The glare, like,
oh yeah,
what you would call that, but I think
like
that's
the Northern Lights kind of
yeah.
effect.
It's brilliant, right?
That's awesome. I love Tanya's work. She's really finding her style this year, and I predict she's going to become quite a popular illustrator down the line.
Amazing. So Dave,
that's awesome too.
That's so cool, right?
Yeah, and if you guys were on last week's call, Dave is basically trying his hand at Michael's style, which is this paper cutout style, and absolutely nailed it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I love that X-Fighter.
Barbara's the same.
Nice, yeah, that's so good.
Really cute.
Love the colours on that as well.
Yeah, really, really cute.
And the texture. Yeah, that's awesome.
Deborah's.
That's awesome. You guys are really nailing that kind of, you know, so it feels cut out.
Yeah.
You can feel the paper, you want to pick it up.
Nick.
That's awesome. Is that a character? Like an original character?
I think so.
That's really cool.
I don't recognise it.
I want to see that on a badge or something. Or a pin.
Michelle.
Using the light bulb.
Marquees.
Yeah.
And
that's
shout
awesome.
out to Michelle. That's the TARDIS from Doctor Who, right? I'm presuming.
Yeah, love that reference. Good work, Michelle.
And this is my personal favourite, Lady T.
I haven't responded yet.
The box.
This is going to look bizarre.
So basically, I met Tammy when I first started working at Design Cuts 3 years ago now. And she was such a crazy fan that she managed to convince me that she actually doesn't have a house because she can't afford it because she spends all her money on DC. So she lives out of a cardboard box and just lives on like cold beans because all of her money goes on our bundles.
And I saw this earlier. I've just noticed the poster. I don't know if
I can't see what it says.
So it says things to sell for DC content. and she's crossed out house, car, iPad, TV, and
the last one is soul.
And socks, and the only one remaining is soul.
So this is Lady T's view out of her cardboard box, aka house.
I need to catch up. I need to catch up on my my personal Instagram later, but I did see I was tagged in it, so I'll definitely reshare that. But that so is funny. Amazing.
So yeah, amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
To everyone for last week. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Let me stop doing that.
Yeah.
This one. That's a bit weird otherwise.
Yeah. Talented.
So yeah, well done to you guys. Thank you very much for sharing.
Don't sell your soul, Michelle says.
Cool. So Ian, I believe, has some homework for you guys this week.
Yes. So this comes off something I did the other day on my Instagram, which was redoing my first ever post with the skill set I've got now. So what I want you guys to do is find the first post, not first post, but first piece of work you've still got, and redo it with the skill set that you have now, and do that before and after, because we all love seeing how people progress, especially like, you see it in the fitness world with, here I was on, however much weight, and now I've lost this, seeing that transformation. So when you post it to the forum, show the original piece you've done, and then what it looks like now. Now you know how to do, whether it could be like a homepage from a website, it might be, an illustration of your cat, whatever it may be. It might be a logo.
Sorry, like the 10-year challenge that's going around.
Yeah.
So that's what inspired me. But so for me, I did. So let me look. So that was my first ever post.
Wow.
My first ever hand lettering post. Actually, I don't know what's going on with that M there. It's going a bit crazy.
How long ago was that in?
That was in 2013.
Cool. That long ago.
And I even missed out some words. It says, I hope you have time of your life. There's no, I hope you have the time of your life. So that just still happens with me. So then the final thing looks like, so, all right, there. Wow. So that's the final. So that's a redone version of my original piece. So, put those two side by side, because it's encouraging for yourself to see how much you've grown creatively and in your skill set, and also for other people to show that actually none of us start out perfect. There's always that, like having, showing photos from, 20 years ago or whatever, and you're like, did I really look like that?
Might be a bit scary, but please don't be scared. Please do post it. As Ian said, it's showing how far you've come.
Yeah.
And who knows, you can look back at it in another 5-10 years or even 5 months and keep track of your progress. Like, that's going to be amazing. So don't be shy. Yeah. It can be just seeing other questions from a school project or work, totally whatever you want, just something that you remember from kind of the early days and then redoing it now in your current style.
Yeah.
And don't worry the time limit, because it doesn't matter how, because Dave there mentioned in the comments that, only 6 months ago, 6 months is how long I spent obsessing about calligraphy. So it was, that changed my career. So, it doesn't matter how long, you're always going to improve over that period of time, whatever it looks like. So it's for people, it really amazes them to see just how far they've come, especially if you're having one of those days where you think, it's rubbish, I don't think I feel I'm getting any better. When
you put it side by side like that, you'll be surprised. And don't
Great
forget,
idea.
if you are going to share it, obviously definitely put it in the thread in the forum, but if you're going to share it on Instagram, don't forget the hashtag #HangoutHomework, and I'm sure Ian won't mind if you tag him up so you can check him out as well.
Do that.
And you're resharing some as well, aren't you?
Yeah, put those on my stories.
Thanks, buddy.
So just after the call, I'll go and create the Hangout homework thread. Just put the spec in there so you can remember what Ian's set for this week, and we look forward to checking them out.
Yeah, so definitely go and check out the Hangout homework in the forum. Do enter, and we'll go through all the entries next week, and we'll highlight them. Ian's going to highlight some. I'm just putting Oh,
That's because we've already sent it.
Does it not let you add it twice?
No, I don't think so.
No, what a nightmare. Hold on, I'm going to paste it in again. So I'm just putting the link in again to the Procreate competition as well. So use the little green button or find it on our website. We've just launched our Procreate section, which features all of the amazing brushes that Ian used today, as well as a host of other ones. And if you jump in there, grab whichever ones take your fancy, do enter the competition. We're giving away some cool gift vouchers, and good luck to you.
And Ian, I will send you the link to the forum thread so that you can share your final creation of 50-foot Michelle with us.
I know. we need a photo of Michelle
Big
holding
reveal.
it up a print or something
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, mate. That was
So
pleasure. I always love coming on these. I love
you guys
I love chatting with you guys, with the community. You're all lovely.
Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you, buddy. I'll talk to you next week as well.
Yep.
To everyone
We'll
here.
see you guys next week too.
We will. We'll see you same time next week. Thank you so much.
Have fun with your homework.
Yeah. Good luck.
I've been back at school. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.